In this video, let's review basic switch configuration with questions and answers part 1. The question reads, every time you type a wrong command, the switch will translate it into a hostname to connect. You must wait until it finishes. How can you avoid it? In order to avoid this issue, you need to type in no IP domain -lookup command in the global configuration mode. Therefore, the answer for this question is A. You can find the detailed explanation for this question in the video. Basic switch and router settings. The question reads, will the configuration make anyone who logins to the switch console provides the username Cisco Skills and the password Cisco Skills? By looking at the configuration, we see that the command over here login, which will force the user to log in with the simple password. In order for the user to log in using the local username and password, we need to issue the command login local. Therefore, the answer for this question is D. You can find the detailed explanation for this question in the video. Securing switch access via console. The question reads, you configure the IP address for the switch as in the screenshot. From the PC, you cannot ping to the switch. However, you can ping to the laptop. So, in order to configure the IP address for a VLAN interface, after the configuration, you need to enable the interface by issuing the command no shutdown. Therefore, the answer for this question is D. You can find the detailed explanation for this question in the video. Secure switch VTY access. The question reads, you were able to verify the RSA key generated as in the first screenshot. You then configure VTY lines as in the second screenshot. Finally, you could also ping the switch virtual interface. However, you cannot log in to the switch using SSH. What is the issue? First of all, you can easily identify that this command doesn't exist. And when you was able to verify the RSA key generated as in the first screenshot, which means you have already issued this command in the global configuration mode on the switch. And when you can ping the switch virtual interface, which means the IP default gateway either not needed or you have already configured the default gateway with the correct IP address. Finally, when you configure with the login local, which means it requires a local username and password. Therefore, the answer for this question is C. You can find the detailed explanation for this question in the video. Secure switch VTY access using SSH. The question reads, you are at the user mode of Cisco Skills Switch 1. You want to get into the privilege mode. How do you do that? As you know, in order to get into the privilege mode from the user mode, you need to issue the command enable, then hit enter. In this case, the switch has been configured with both enable secret and enable password command. Therefore, the enable secret will override the enable password, which means you have to enter the password that you enter in the enable secret command. So the answer for this question is C. You can find the detailed explanation for this question in the video. Securing switch access via console. The question reads, you configure remote access for the switch using simple password as in the first screenshot. From the PC, you log into the switch via telnet to the IP 10.0.0.10 using PuTTY, but you got the error message as in the second screenshot. What should you do? First of all, we can confirm that this configuration will allow you to remote access to the switch via telnet using simple password Cisco skill. And you don't need to change the third line to login local, because if you change the third line to login local, it will require you to access to the switch using a local username and password. And therefore you don't need to configure a local username and password, because all you need is just a simple password that you configure here, Cisco skills. From the network diagram, we can confirm that we don't need to configure the IP default gateway, because the PC and the switch are in the same network. And we find out that the network error connection timeout usually mean from the PC you cannot ping to this IP or you cannot connect to this IP. Therefore, the answer for this question is A. You can find the detailed explanation for this question in the video. Secure switch VTY access. The question reads, you were able to verify the RSA key generated as in the first screenshot. You then configure VTY lines as in the second screenshot. Finally, you could also ping the switch virtual interface. However, you cannot log into the switch using SSH. What is the issue? As you know, in order to access to the switch using SSH, you need to configure the VTY lines with the command transport input SSH in line VTY configuration mode. Therefore, the answer for this question is D. You can find the detailed explanation for this question in the video. Secure switch VTY access using SSH.